It's another cold one today, folks, and I'm here to talk to you about something which is even cooler than cool. That's right, it's the T-1000 by Nemo and Hansen Chen. Now, if you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, take a look at what this thing does.
Hi, I'm Hansen Chen. Penetration is always one of the classic effects that attract magicians, such as Chinese linking rings or the crazy man's handcuffs.
For those of you that have already seen the trailer, you've probably already tried to pick this up only to find out that it sold out almost immediately at Ellusionist.com. So fear not, I'm here today to tell you about how you can get your hands on one of the very first few sets of the T-1000 and to give you some answers to the questions you've been asking. Oh, and I'm also here to pass on a thank you from our warehouse staff who are overrun with orders. You've created another quiver situation, which means that everyone has to work double time, shipping, packing, posting, trying to get you the product that you want as fast as possible. Let's talk about the T-1000. Let's kick it off with some FAQs to the questions you've been asking. First up, is this examinable? Yes, it ends clean, but I don't want to disappoint any of you. This isn't real magic, so there is a method to this, and you do need to perform a very, very basic switch of one of the bracelets. However, Hansen and Nemo cover a plethora of different, easy, hands-off almost switches in the tutorial, which means there's no situation that you're going to be left in. And I just want to talk about the switches that they provide. Some of them are really, really smart. There's ones you can do on tables. There's some which use alternative objects as you switch. Some which are purely sleight of hand. You're covered for almost every situation. So if you're worried about doing a switch with sleight of hand, you can do it a different way. If you're worried about doing it standing up and you want to do it on a table, you've got that covered. Everything you need to learn is in the download to make sure you can perform this with ease, without worry, and make sure you can fool the pants off your audience. So the first question and answer leads into the second question and answer is, what do I get? Well, first of all, you get this incredible looking box to keep it safe in with the packaging, but more importantly, what's inside the box. Now, I'm gonna cover up the tutorial link, but I'll show you inside. This is what you get. You get 3 bracelets that look identical. You get a specially gimmicked bracelet and 2 normal ones. This means that you can perform with a normal bracelet and a gimmick bracelet, perform the effect, have the spectator left holding the regular bracelet, and you perform a really simple and fooling switch to make sure you're left clean. As a little side note, Hansen performs this effect with the bracelets, and then he puts one away as he performs a different effect where the bracelet penetrates through the finger. However, the bracelet he uses is a regular bracelet. This means you can show an effect and say, oh, hey, wait, I'll take it one step further. You place one away, you perform a normal effect with it. They want to examine that bracelet straight away because they think, if they're trying to work it out, that's where the method lies. And then you bring out the alternative regular bracelet and they can examine both at the same time, and you've got a really fluent, perfect routine. Question 3, we were asked, how do you bring these into play without them looking suspicious or weird? So first of all, for those of you that do crazy man's handcuffs, it's kind of strange to bring rubber bands out these days. So those of you, there's a large percentage of you that do this or have done this or have played around with this. People don't really ask questions, but there's a perfect lead-in. If you do perform crazy man's handcuffs, you can say, listen, I just did this with rubber. We all know rubber can be bent, can be malleable, can be shaped. I want to take it a little step further, and I want to do it with metal. So I brought these metal bracelets along to show you just how impossible this is. With that being said, if you're like me, you wear wristbands. I just keep them on my wrist. It looks totally normal. So once you've done it with rubber bands, you can I want to try something a bit more harder than rubber. Maybe something like this, like bracelets. You can use iPod headphones, you can use rubber bands with the T-1000 gimmick. There's alternative handlings. But to me, this just looks totally regular. And as regular as if you're going to bring rubber bands into play, or sponge balls into play, or foreign coins into play. You really don't have anything to worry about when it comes to bringing these into performance. And I think they look pretty cool in general. Question 4, is this fooling enough for a lay audience? Well, let me put this to you. Some of you may or may not have figured out the method to this. However, if we were to show you magicians a card trick using a double lift, or the crazy man's handcuffs, or a coin vanish with a French drop, it wouldn't fool any of you. But you all know in the real world, when you perform effects like this, they blow your spectators' brains out. When it comes to something as visual as this, where you're not even sure if you know the method yet or not, just imagine what's going on in the head of the spectators, especially when you perform a really beautiful switch, which just ties them up in knots. And I can say from experience that I do perform this. I've been performing this for a while, and it's an absolute face melter. And it's one of those reactions where I finish clean, I drop the 2 bracelets on the table, and I'll just turn my attention somewhere else. And I come back, and even when I go to show them another trick, they just go into the bracelets trying to figure out how this works. They're all trying to put them in positions and try to recreate what I just showed them. And they really are completely baffled by this. So if you're thinking the method, because you may have worked it out, is not full enough, just think back to what you actually perform in the real world. If you were to show any magicians those tricks that are simple, like double lifts and French drops, you would be like, oh, okay, this is too stupid to perform on layman, but you know they work. This, where you're not even sure how it works and you're taking guesses, this just hits them right between the eyes. Question 5, how easy is this to do? Well, if you could literally pull on 2 bracelets, you can do this effect because it's that clean. Even in your own hands, you fool yourself because you link the bracelets and they just melt apart. It doesn't compute properly in your own brain, let alone your audience's brain. But fear not, Hansen covers everything from the small nuances to the handlings to make sure things don't go wrong, and everything else that you could possibly imagine that you need to know to go into the real world and perform this is all taught in a tutorial. 6th and final question, how the hell do I get my hands on the T-1000 by Nemo and Hansen Chen? Well, the first batch of pre-orders have been sold out. If you are one of the first lucky few hundred, then they are shipping on the 5th of February from the Ellusionist warehouse. Now, to counteract that, just like we've done with Quiver in the past, we've got another batch of units being shipped immediately to the warehouse. These are going on to a pre-order, just like before. So for those of you that do pick up on the pre-order to try and get one of the very first few sets in the world, then yours will be shipped out the moment they arrive in the warehouse. And we're hoping they arrive in a week's time. But when you do pick up the pre-order, we will keep you notified by email, as always, to let you know exactly when and where and how your parcels are being shipped to you anywhere in the world. So in a nutshell, the lucky few are having theirs shipped on the 5th of February. Congratulations, you managed to get one in the pre-order. The pre-order is now live. You can go straight to Ellusionist.com, get yourself on the pre-order for the T-1000. As soon as they get in the warehouse, they are being shipped this week. They will be shipped directly out to you. It could even be as soon as February the 5th. But make sure you pick it up, otherwise you won't be getting one for at least another couple of weeks, as Hansen Chen and Nemo are working as fast as they can to make more sets and ship them to our warehouse in California. So you can see we're doing literally everything we can to supply your demands, but we want to take a little step further. For those of you that have picked up the T-1000, in a few short days, we will be updating a video into your downloads account in the Ellusionist website. We will be showing you alternative handlings, and some of them look insane. I'm talking about things like melting a bracelet through a folded bill, putting 2 holes in a bill, fold up and melting the bracelet from one hole to the other. Effects using headphones and pencils. There's just so much you can do with the T-1000. It doesn't just end with bracelet through bracelet. You can do it with both spectators using each bracelet in a hand. They can put their hands together with a bracelet on like they're praying and melt them apart in their own hands. There's just some crazy stuff we've got coming to show you. So make sure you pick up your T-1000. We'll get it to you as fast as possible. In the meantime, we'll be updating you with a bunch of bonus handlings that are just gonna drive you wild. So that's it. Head to Ellusionist.com, type in T-1000 and get yourself on that pre-order. It's freezing cold. Crack open the Pyro wallets, warm yourself up and get excited to receive your T-1000 today. It's the most fun I've ever had receiving a magic effect and playing with it for hours and hours. It drove my creative juices through the roof. It'll do the same to yours. And then the pleasure you get from going out, performing and frying people's brains with it is unmeasurable. Go to Ellusionist.com, get in on it today. It's the T-1000 by Nemo and Hansen Chen. You will not be disappointed.